What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventure in 1994 here, and today is January 14th, 2024, and today is the 10th anniversary of when I went on my very first Great Wolf Lodge trip in January of 2014. So I'm going to tell that story to you guys because it's the 10th anniversary of that. So this trip started out as a Christmas 2013 Christmas present and a surprise for me and my brothers. And we were going to go to Great Wolf Lodge from January 14th to the 15th of 2014. It was going to be a 24-hour trip. This was back when I was in 7th grade. I was going through my second year of middle school. I was in 7th grade at the time. And I also want to talk about what we did before that. So, January 2nd, we had a blizzard like 2 weeks beforehand. We had like this crazy blizzard in the first week of 2014. We had a lot of blowing snow and a lot of wind with it. And then that Friday we played in the snow. It's a good thing we were still on holiday break of 2014 because they would have started subtracting days from our spring break if this was during school days that would be closed during the blizzard. Yeah, the snow stayed around until it got warmer the following Monday. We started to see it melt like by January 6th. And then January 8th, we went to the nursing home for my grandfather's birthday, my paternal grandfather. We went to the nursing home to see him. And then Thursday, we did our second Christmas surprise. We went to the old Nassau Coliseum to see Disney on Ice. We went to go see Disney on Ice at the old Nassau Coliseum. And that was another Christmas 2013 birthday. That was another Christmas 2013 surprise present for me and my family. And that was actually my last time in the old Coliseum before it got renovated and it changed to a new Coliseum. And I didn't come back to the Coliseum until 2017 when we did that open house tour of the place, like before Easter came that year in 2017. Yeah, so that was the last time I've been in the old Coliseum before it got renovated in 2015. After the Islanders got eliminated from the 2015 playoffs. Yeah, the Islanders were in last place that year when I was last in the old Coliseum. Yeah, we went to see a lot of we went to see a lot of shows at the old Coliseum. I remember when I was like 3 years old and I saw Barnum and Bailey's Circus at like 3 years old at the old Coliseum. And that's where I went to my first NHL game too. The Islanders and the Bruins back in 2005. And that's where we adopted our cat Oreo back in 2006, who sadly passed away in 2013. So that was another pain of losing the Coliseum, because that's where we got one of our cats. Losing the old Coliseum, I mean. And then nothing really happened January 10th. And then January 11th, we went to go see my maternal grandparents in Queens before we left. And then January 13th, we packed away all our Christmas stuff and we packed for our trip. And then Tuesday, January 14th, we were off to Great Wolf Lodge for the very first time. and we drove 2.5 hours to the Poconos Mountains in Pennsylvania. I remember it was really cloudy that day, believe it or not. I still remember it was cold and very cloudy. Yeah, the sun didn't really come out that day. It was like a huge overcast, or it was probably clouds from some previous storm that happened. I don't know, there was like a lot of clouds. The sun didn't really come out once that trip. Yeah, so we left at like 9:30 in the morning and we didn't get there till like after 12. And we did make one rest stop on the way. And we actually packed the movie A Bug's Life with us to watch on the TVs. I mean, to watch on the DVD players we had in the car, in the minivan. Yeah, this was back when we had the 1997 Dodge Grand Caravan. And we packed the movie A Bug's Life to watch on the DVD players in the car on the way. And then on the way back, we watched The Little Mermaid on the DVD players. Yeah, this is when we had the 1997 Dodge Grand Caravan, and we also had my dad's 2002 Jeep Liberty Sport, and we also had my dad's 2002 Saturn SL2. This was like the last year we had those two cars before we traded them for the Kia Sorento we have today. So we got the Great Wolf at like 12, after 12, and we did what we normally did there. We checked into our room. We changed into our bathing suits because we were in long sleeves because it was really cold out. Especially being elevated in the mountains of the Poconos, it's like really cold over there. In the Poconos Mountains of Pennsylvania, it's like really, really cold over there. Colder than here in Long Island. And then we put on our bathing suits, and then we went to the water park for 4 hours. We stayed there from like 12:30 to 4 o'clock, so that's like 3.5 hours. Yeah, while we're at Great Wolf, we usually spend a long time in the water park. Because we have so much fun there that the time really flies. We have a ball at the Great Wolf Lodge water parks that are indoors. Yeah, that's the best thing about Great Wolf is the indoor water park, where the room is actually 80 degrees while the outside is freezing. The indoor water park is open year-round because it's indoors, and the room temperature is 80 degrees. So you can have fun there all year round, while the weather is bad outside. So that's the best thing about Great Wolf is the indoor water parks. We don't have to worry about it being so cold out. But the outdoor pool is still closed because it's really cold. Like, all the outdoor activities are out of the question during the winter. They're closed because it's really cold out. And then after that, we went to the Loose Moose Buffet and we had dinner. And then right after that, we did Magi Quest, I think. And then we like walked around to the stores. And then before the end of the day came, we played in the arcade for like 2 hours. We tried to play like every game that was in there. As much games as possible. And then we went back to the room. My dad put the Wi-Fi on, or tablets. Because I didn't really have a phone back then. I was like only in 7th grade. But I think 7th graders have phones, but I didn't really plan to get one around that time. So we put on our Wi-Fi and we watched YouTube, and then we watched TV in the living room. And we went to bed. And by the way, me and my brothers actually had a cabin room in the resort when we stayed there for the first time. My dad booked us a cabin room. It was a kid's cabin. And you have all these paintings and like this designed wood as decoration, and you have like these paintings of animals looking into the window. It looks really nice. So me and my brother slept in the kid cabin, and my parents slept on the king size bed they had in there. And then we got up the next morning and we had breakfast, and then we went back into the water park for a few hours, and my dad was rolling our bags back into the minivan, and then we changed into our regular clothing, and then we went home back to Long Island to freeze again. I mean, it was freezing in Pennsylvania, but I just said that to be funny. Yeah. So we left at like 12 o'clock, and we didn't come home till like almost 3 in the afternoon. And then I went back to school on the 16th. Yeah, we were all exhausted. The pool made us sleepy and all that stuff. Yeah, we got home and we unpacked, and I got ready for school the next morning. And then after that, it was Martin Luther King's Day of 2014. And then we had another snowstorm on the 22nd. And I was also studying for the midterms, and then we had the midterms, and then after the midterms were over, it was Saturday, February 1st. To tell you the truth, I was actually mentioning what happened through the entire month of January. This video says it all of what I did that January of 2014. That was my January of 7th grade. And my present for working hard on the midterms that January was a trip to Roosevelt Field Mall. And this was like back before it got infested by all these criminals that are in there now. This was like back when Roosevelt Field used to be really good, before all the criminals started causing crime in there. It's getting really dangerous in that mall 10 years later. Like, here we are, and we're getting news like almost every single day that the mall is dealing with criminals. It's not really safe in that mall anymore. It's really sad. These are all the good times. Like back then, I remember the mall because it was less bad in there, and we used to spend hours in that mall. Yeah, I wanted to go there after I did the midterms. My dad took me there. So I guess that's it. I had a great time at Great Wolf 10 years ago, and I had a great first impression there. And this was actually 8 years after I first started going to Disney in January of 2006. That was like 8 years. That was like 8 years after that. And this was 10 years ago I first went to Great Wolf. But the first Great Wolf Lodge trip was actually the 8th anniversary of when I went to Disney in January 2006. But I really don't know the first day I went to Disney in January 2006. Oh well, I can't remember it all. And the funny thing is, it doesn't feel that long ago as it did feel between 2006 and 2014. This felt like it came much quicker between 2014 and 2024, even though it was 10 years and the other time was 8 years. So I guess that's it. Bye.